Ever wonder how a young prodigy can skip the traditional path and take the PGA Tour by storm? Let's talk about Michael Brennan.
Hi, I'm Leah, feeling curious today and ready to dive into this exciting topic.
And I'm Garrett, feeling energized to explore Michael Brennan's journey. Welcome to Laid Back Learning with Leah and Garrett.
Today's topic, Michael Brennan, golfer. Picture this, I'm a kid flipping channels with my grandpa. We land on a golf tournament and I'm like, these players look so young. One guy had this calm, almost older than his years look and still ripped it off the tee. That stuck with me. So when I hear about Michael Brennan breaking through as fast as he did, it's that same surprise and delight, that feeling of, wow, this person was just built for this moment.
Yeah, totally. And Brennan's story has that, whoa, this escalated quickly energy. Quick baseline here. Michael Brennan is an American professional golfer on the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour is the top men's pro circuit in the United States, basically the big leagues. What makes his rise so wild is he kind of hopped the usual turnstiles. Most guys grind through developmental tours for years. Brennan turned pro in 2024, and by late 2025, he won a PGA Tour event on a sponsor exemption, which is a special invite from a tournament even if you don't qualify the standard way.
To frame how unusual that is, it's like an actor winning an Oscar for their very first film. People do it, but not often. And when they do, you remember it. His fast track wasn't random luck. It was built on years of development, from junior golf to a decorated college career at Wake Forest.
All right, let's set the stage. Brennan grew up in Leesburg, Virginia, playing out of River Creek Club. Both his parents, Shannon and Michael, played golf. So the game wasn't just a pastime. It was kind of a family language. That's pretty cool, right?
For sure. And that early family support shows up in specific moments. His brother Sean caddied for him at the 2020 U.S. Amateur at Bandon Dunes, which is a major amateur championship on a links-style course. Links-style just means wind, firm turf, big contours, the whole seaside chess match vibe. That's a lot of trust between siblings under pressure.
He was also a multi-sport kid. Baseball, basketball, football, lacrosse, soccer. That variety matters. It builds coordination and speed in different ways. Honestly, you can kind of see it later in his driving. Balance plus speed equals power without losing control.
He started formal coaching with Adam Harrell at age 12. That's early enough to build sound mechanics, but not so rigid that you kill creativity. Then high school hits. At Tuscarora High, he shoots 70 in his first match at South Riding and wins the Virginia 5A North region soon after. That's a tone setter.
There's also the classroom piece. He attended Loudoun's Academy of Engineering and Technology while in high school, so he's getting a taste of a rigorous STEM curriculum. Later, you'll see how that data comfort ties into strokes gained analysis and decision-making. Quick definition. Strokes gained compares you to the field. Plus numbers mean you beat the average. Minus means the field beat you.
And then, wow, the amateur run. At 15, he wins the Middle Atlantic Amateur, becoming the youngest champion in that event's history. Then he three-peats it, 2017, 2018, 2019. He wins the VSGA Junior Match Play, the Dustin Johnson World Junior, the Scott Robertson Memorial, the Virginia State Amateur, the Maridoe Junior Invitational. That's not just a hot streak, that's dominance across formats and fields.
That pipeline led straight to Wake Forest, which is a powerhouse in college golf. He arrived in 2020 and right away stacked wins: Kiowa Invitational, Wake Forest Invitational, Old Town Club Collegiate, Colonial Collegiate, and then more in 2023 with the Southwestern Invitational and Chicago Highlands Invitational.
He's not just winning, he's consistent. He finishes his college career with a 71.46 scoring average, which ranks fourth all-time at Wake, behind Alex Fitzpatrick, Bill Haas, and Will Zalatoris. For anyone not steeped in golf, those are standout Wake Forest alums who became top-level pros, elite company.
The academics pop too: four-time academic All-ACC and a degree in economics. Economics gives you a mindset for risk and reward. In golf, that's picking smart targets, understanding expected value, and not forcing a hero shot when the math says play to the fat side of the green.
Speaking of exposure to the tour, in 2022 he wins the Genesis Invitational Collegiate Showcase at Riviera. That earns him a start in the actual Genesis Invitational on the PGA Tour, which is one of the toughest courses on the schedule. He misses the cut by 2, but that's a priceless preview of tour pace, green speeds, and pressure.
He also qualifies for the 2023 U.S. Open, gets that major championship feel, and although he misses the cut there too, you can tell the experiences are stacking up. By 2024, he graduates, turns pro, and lands PGA Tour America's status via finishing 12th in the PGA Tour University standings. Quick explainer. PGA Tour U ranks college seniors and offers status on developmental tours. PGA Tour Americas is one of those, and it feeds into the Korn Ferry Tour, which is the main pipeline to the PGA Tour.
And he crushes PGA Tour Americas in 2025. He wins the BioSteel Championship, the CRMC Championship in a playoff over Derek Hitchner, and the ATB Classic by a shot over Hitchner again. 3 wins, leads the season points, which normally means hello Korn Ferry Tour for the next step.
But here's the twist. He gets a sponsor exemption into the Bank of Utah Championship on the PGA Tour and wins it. Not just squeaks by. He goes 22 under, beats Rico Hoey by 4, and becomes the first since Jim Benepi in 1988 to win in his first PGA Tour start as a professional. Jim Benepi, by the way, is the last guy who pulled off that exact feat.
That win gives him immediate PGA Tour membership, so he effectively bypasses the Korn Ferry Tour year most players need. And the analytics backing it up are loud. He gained 7.6 strokes off the tee that week, which was the best single event off the tee number on tour in 2025. Off the tee means you're driving length plus accuracy. It shortens courses and makes birdies more likely.
The ranking jump shows how big a win like that is. He starts 2025 ranked 681st in the official World Golf Ranking, the OWGR, which rates players on a rolling 2-year system weighted by event strength. After the win, he rockets to 43rd. That's a whole different career outlook overnight.
And then in 2026, he shows staying power. He makes the cut in all 4 majors. At the Masters, he ties for 24th. He finishes 81st at the PGA Championship, ties for 43rd at the U.S. Open, and ties for 53rd at the Open. That's 4 very different tests, from Augusta's Precision to U.S. Open Rough to Links Golf Overseas, and he handles them all.
He caps that run with another PGA Tour win at the Wyndham Championship in August 2026, going 22 under. He rips off 5 straight birdies on the front 9 Sunday to flip a 1-shot deficit into a 3-shot lead, then adds a birdie at 18 to lock it up and punch his FedEx Cup playoffs ticket. That's closing with authority.
Real talk, this isn't a fluke and fade story. It's a through line. Family foundation, early coaching, multi-sport athleticism, academic discipline, a dominant amateur run, top-tier college results, a smart use of the developmental pipeline, and then capitalizing on a single sponsor exemption to leapfrog the usual ladder.
Okay, let's get to a spicy detail. There's ambiguity about his exact average driving distance during that Bank of Utah Championship. We know he gained 7.6 strokes off the tee, best that season, but the precise average yardage hasn't been specified. And for gearheads like me, that missing data point is, a little maddening.
I get that, but I care more about what he did with the tee shots than the number itself. Strategy beats raw yardage. If he's choosing smart lines, shaping shots, and playing to strengths, that explains the 7.6 strokes gained without obsessing over exact distance. Why does the yardage number itself matter so much to you?
Because it helps isolate the skill mix. If his average was huge, it hints that power did most of the lifting, which can change how competitors prepare against him. If it was more modest, then placement and angles are doing the work. That's different scouting. Metrics like carry distance, rollout, and dispersion, which is shot spread, tell you whether he's overpowering courses or just outmaneuvering them.
Fair, but players aren't robots. Wind, elevation, firmness, all of that changes distance. Without full context, that one number can be misleading. I'd rather look at the result. He's separated from the field off the tee by a massive margin. That says advantage, regardless of whether the average was 305 or 325.
That's a solid point. I guess I'm chasing the why behind the what. If we knew the precise average, plus the hole-by-hole choices, we could model how much was power versus route selection. Not gonna lie, it's partly just my inner numbers nerd wanting a clean dashboard.
And I'm over here saying the cleanest dashboard is the trophy. But I love that your angle asks how replicable the edge is. If it's mainly power, it travels to most courses. If it's strategy tuned to that venue, then the question becomes, can he keep customizing that well everywhere?
Either way, the takeaway is the same. Off the tee was his engine, and paired with his background in analytics, I'd bet he's optimizing both speed and lines, not just swinging hard. Yeah, that checks out.
Here's a pop culture idea. There isn't a big doc about him yet, but imagine a series on young golfers who defy the usual path. Start with junior trophies on bedroom shelves, the family caddy dynamic, the college grind, and then that sponsor exemption moment where the door cracks open. Brennan's arc would make episode 1 easy.
All right, counterfactual time. What if he never got that sponsor exemption into the Bank of Utah Championship in 2025?
Then, 2026 probably looks like Korn Ferry Tour full-time. The Korn Ferry is the top developmental tour feeding into the PGA Tour. He'd be chasing top 30 or so on the season to earn a PGA Tour card. He was trending that way anyway, but the leap would have taken longer. Instead of jumping to 43rd in the OWGR in late 2025, maybe he's grinding closer to the 150 to 250 range, building points slowly.
And with that slower climb, his 2026 schedule changes. Fewer big points events, maybe no full slate of majors, and likely less exposure to those pressure-packed Sundays. He might still arrive in the same place, but it's more like a steady staircase than an elevator. The Wyndham win in 2026, does that still happen on the same timeline? Maybe not.
The flip side is the extra Korn Ferry reps could have fine-tuned some parts of his game before the spotlight. But the actual path he took gave him reps under brighter lights, and he answered the bell. That 5-birdie run on Sunday at Wyndham says he wasn't afraid of the moment.
So the what-if lands here. Without that exemption, he likely gets to the PGA Tour the usual way and still contends. But the timing, the rankings, the trust from sponsors, even the playoff positioning, all of that changes. A single door opening at the right time bent the entire arc.
I love how this story shows preparation meeting opportunity. Stay curious, keep asking why, and be ready when the door cracks open.
Yeah, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll catch you next time with something new to chew on.